So, hi everybody and welcome back to the Unreal Engine 5 full game tutorial series for absolute beginners. This is video 62 and in this video we continue with our little game, and you can see we covered here many parts already. We are here in gameplay, and in gameplay in our last video we stopped with the option shader complexity. Yes, we covered this one, and in this video we have to talk about the checkbox problem. So what is the checkbox problem? Actually, there is a in-game where you can tick a checkbox, which means you have read the story, the pre-story, and you don't want to read it all time again and again when you start the game. And I had a problem because the save game worked not as intended. I used the actor component. It caused me a problem. I made something wrong, but now I will show you my solution about this problem. And yeah, let's go into this one. So what is the checkbox problem? So first of all, let me go here, right click, go to show in Explorer. In Explorer, I want to delete my save file because the save file will be created. So you can see here in my project folder, I go here to not to content this time, I go to the saved, and in saved you have here save game, and here your file will be saved and you can delete this, so you start from start again, which means we have to call our save game. We have talked already about the save game. Let me show you this one. Where is that? We talked already about the save game, but here, this one, you can see this block we already know, and the only difference is now I use it in an actor component, and I will show you how we make this. So, but let's go fast over it. I will not explain it because I already explained it in detail. I will just go fast over it. You can see here, this function is a load function. The other one is a save function. And in this load function, you just ask first if there is a slot already created, and you just saw that I deleted this slot. So with other words, in our case, or in my case, there will be not slot because I just deleted this one. And I called this for test purpose just A1 because I debugged a lot in the past. And now, if there is no slot, and because I just deleted the slot where it was saved, it will go down, then it will create a new save game object, and it will save it to the new slot here, which I call A1. So when I start now the game, this line here below will be created, and when I start it over again after the first time, so a second time, then this block will not go in, it will go on top because it asks again when I start the game a second time, is there a save slot? This next time it will be, if all worked fine. Then it goes top, it goes to the slot name, asks the slot name, and it loads from slot. And you can see after it loads from slot, we are just getting the values here, yes, and assigning it here in. So that is just our load game, which we know. I've talked already, and now the only difference, like I said, is I put this function, which is a function which you can have in your normal folder. Instead of having it here, I created an actor component. You can see here is an actor component folder. Right click, new folder, call it actor component or what you like, and then in there, let's delete this one here. And then you open up the folder, then again right click, and then you go here to blueprint class because it's one of the common blueprints. And of course you can search it here, but this one is so much used, you can already see it here. It says actor component, you click on actor component, then you name it like you want. I call it AC for actor component, and an underscore, and then the name what you want. In my case, it is called save load game because I wanted save and load the game from the actor component. And the question is, wait a minute, why we make an actor component when we can make this all without? Because you don't have to make an actor component. You can just go and create your save game just normal anywhere where you like. For example, in your game mode. because the game mode is managing all things. So save and load game with the game mode is a perfect place normally. And the reason why I use here an ActorComponent is just for portability. Portability means here just, okay, I want to use this function here, the save load, in another program as well. That's the only reason why I make this. Without this one, I don't need this. Instead of, you can all time, for example, copy this code, just find this anywhere in your folder, just right click, copy and paste it in the next one. Or you can say, hey, I have an ActorComponent, just import the ActorComponent and use it. And this is more or less what we do. So after we created this ActorComponent, double click it, and you can see the function which I explained to you just before. I just copy and paste it here. And I created here on the left side, here are functions. You click here on plus, then it will create a function, just a normal function, and then you call it what you need. In my case, I have a save and a load. This one is the load function. You can see, like I explained before, at the first time, if there is nothing, it creates an object and slot and save it to the slot. If there is one, it will load it from the slot. And then you can make it for save as well, if you like. And then this one is portable. That's it. So you see, there is nothing very difficult here, but the difficult part is more to use it, because I had some bugs there. I don't know why, but it worked now, and I'll show you how we use this. So how we use this. So you have created this ActorComponent now, just the function which you needed, in my case just a load, but you can make any function in it what you need. ActorComponent means just you want give a functionality to an actor, right? And you want not to place this functionality in the actor because you want to use it in different actors or in different projects. That's the reason why I use this one. And I want to show you this one. So in my case, like I said before, the best place for save and load is normally a game mode, because the game mode manage all. And yes, and I don't want that anything other should manage this one, because the game mode is more the place where the later the server is, and server means all time the place where nobody should access it, and that's why we go to the game mode. And this ActorComponent, I can act. Let's open up first my game mode. My game mode, it's the first game mode, which is my main menu. I have 2 game modes, and I use the main menu because main menu is my first game mode, and the first game mode should load all the updated variables, right? So it should update later all the variables. That's why my game menu should load, for example, anything what was saved before. Okay, I go to my game mode, I open up the game mode, and like I said before, you can just copy this function here, the whole function actually, just copy in the game mode. That will work too, but we use now the ActorComponent. And how we use this ActorComponent, what we created here, you go here again to the game mode, here on the left side, you go and click this add, and you write the name of the ActorComponent underscore, and you can see here, and in my case it's already added, that's why it's not popping up. But normally you go here to add and then write, for example, ActorComponent. Careful, sometimes this search here on the left side, when you use the underscore, it is not finding it. Just write this name, because its reacts are a little bit strange to the underscore. It's not very nice, but you can write an AC or the name of your component. For example, in my case, it would be called save load. Then you would write your save load, and you can see now it pops up. First I wrote AC underscore, it's not popping up. Again, like I said, it's sometimes this underscore is treated strange in the search engine, but write then just the other name here, save load. Okay, now it's save. Now it works. AC save load, and then you click this, it adds here. And now you need a little bit of modification, because just with adding is not working. And why is this not working with just adding? The point is you have specific access points. Access points mean get the variables and add the variables and update all the variables and something. And let's see how we make this in my case. So first of all, here's my game mode. I added this one, which means I have no access to this function here. So my game mode here can call this function because I added it to it. All right, so let's see how I make this. So I go here to the event graph like all time. And in my event graph, at the begin play of the game mode, I say, hey, this is save and load game. In my case, it should load all variables and update all the variables which was saved in the slot. So I need this function normally at this point here at the start. So again, if you don't like an actor component, in my case, it caused a problem. First, I tested, okay, it is working without the actor component. What I did is just taking the whole function and place it exactly here at this place. It worked. Then I said, okay, now let's test with an actor component, which means I placed it in an actor component. And now I show you how to use the actor component. And you can see the actor component we just added. You can drag and drop it. And now you have a reference to your actor component. And then you have just to drag and drop out. And now you make just a normal function call. You can see LoadGame. Here is the function call. So it's just normal, like a normal function. The only difference is this one is separate in an actor component, which is portable, which means you can use this actor component in other projects as well, which can be very useful if you don't want to write all time again the same code, or just copy and paste all time from this code to another project, this kind of stuff. All right, let's continue. So you can see all I did is just call it, but important here, very important, we need, because this is a separate component, we need this output here, right? What we want to load. For example, I need this variable score. I have a score for my game, and now the checkbox is a Boolean variable. I need this output because this two variables I want update, and these two variables must be in your normal game menu, for example. So they should be get from this actor component, and then you just updated this one and use it in your program. That's it. That's very important. And sometimes, not all time, sometimes you won't make the other way around too. What I mean with the other way around too, sometimes you want input here something because perhaps you want save it. In my case, this is load. And if you go to the other function, for example, I have a save. Let's click this one. You can see the save one has here inputs. Very important. And how you make this output and input, I show you this one as well. Let's open up this again. You can see the LoadGame has no input because we want get variables, not put in, and we want get the variables. You can see it creates here this object and then the slot, and then it gets from the slot this variables. And important is here is a return, right? And this return, if you click on it and go here in the details panel, then you can add what you want as an output. And this added here plus plus plus, you can see all this output here. Let's compile it, save, will be represented here, which you can use later. All right. In my case, I don't need the other ones. Let's get rid of this one. I think this one should stay. Okay. This one should stay, and then you can see this one will be updated, and let's make it usable. And the other way around as well. So for example, if you want save later data, then you can make here, not click the return value, then you click the first node here, and then again here, and it says here input. One output means here. This side, in this case, we want the input, and again you can add here how many you want, and then change here, click on it. You can of course change here what you want to input, a name, a string, a number, a vector, and all this kind of stuff, and then you can make what you like. These are just the input and outputs which you need, and actually that's it, because after you made this little thing, set up this thing, the only thing what you do later is just call it. Well, like I showed you, just grab the thing, just call the function which you need. In my case, I need at the start the LoadGame because I want to update all my variables. And here I want update especially the checkbox, and I will show you now how this is, why I make this. So let's demonstrate it. And like I said, like I did before, I deleted my first slot, which means let's go back in LoadGame, which means it will try to go this path because I have no slot. This slot A1 here, you saw at the start I deleted this one. And again, if you want delete it all time, just right click, show in Explorer, go to your what I showed you before to save, and then you can start this again. And to show you the steps now, step by step, how this is working, I will just make here and debug so we can follow the code a little bit easier. And now I start the game. So start game. So you can see, because my main menu is my start game menu, it will start with begin play. All right, I go on. Now this is my actor component. I use here the step in. Step in means go into this function, please, and we go step there through. All right, I go in, and now let's see what happens. And this is the thing what I explained to you at the start. Let's go a little bit fast through. So first of all, it is checking, is there this slot, this A1? And after this one, we should have here an output no. This one is it not? Because because why it's not here? This, when you read here false, this is wrong. Why it's wrong? Because you must wait that this debug here is executed this whole thing. So after, I show you. The debug is now when going from here to here, and then you check the backward, right? So never check where the debug is. For example, you don't check here, you check all time when he finished executing the step here. So with other words, now I check, now it says false, this is the right one. Very important on debug, make not this mistake to check here where the debug is pointing. The debug points only, this debug pointing here means it will execute in the next step this part here, but it is not executed, which means it is not, it has not evaluated this part, so you can only check the last one. But anyway, here we see it is false. We can assume after this part it will jump when it's executing this part to false, and zack, it is going to false. Now it is creating the save game object. We have talked already about it. You need a save game object. It is creating this one here. I just create a reference so I can use it later. And then important here, after this step, it will create this slot A. All right, so that was the step one, and the actor component is already used. So you can see that we have already talked about it. It's similar to normal use. Instead of using actor component, now I have a portable component. That's it. And now here, important, what I'm doing after this one, I'm updating. This one here is an update, but actually there was no slot because I deleted all my save games. So at start there is nothing. So when I go one step again, don't check here. First go one, after now check this one, and here it says false. This is the checkbox what I want to show you in a moment. We will see it right now. And now we can skip here all the parts because now it creates the main menu. It's add to the viewport. It is already adding, yeah, you can see it created this main menu here, it added to the viewport, and where we are, not here, here. Then it set the mouse, now again it will set my mouse here. It will show now the cursor, you can see now it's not really, okay, this one is showing about, but not really, because now I'm debug mode, that's why it's showing. But here I said show mouse cursor, so that when I say show mouse cursor, because I want to use here click here new game, load game, and something like that. And then sound, the sound is here I make this music or whatever, and here I create again a reference so I can later click it away, is interrupted. And let's see where we are. That was our first step, and then I click new game. Let's make it, and then you see this is the second part where the slider comes, and now this is the thing why I made this checkbox. You can see here's the pre-story. We talked about it. I will still not change it. This is the old pre-story. I have to change it, but let it be. This again, I make this offline. But important is setup here. After I read the story, I don't want to hear it all time again or read it all time again. And then I created here this don't show again box. And when you click on this don't show again box, this is this one. It will be, let's go here, where it is. Let me see here. Here is a box. It's called change the checkbox. So I created here a function. So when you click on it, this will be realized. I can show you this in a moment after this one. And then this function here will called. This function now, interesting, is that I'm not using here the actor component to save this checkbox. I could make it, and I want just show you that it's not all time needed. You can make it because actor component is just optional. Optional means here you can use it, you don't have to use it. In my case, I think there was a problem, that's why I tested this one, but now I could test it with an actor component as well. But let me show you, this here is a just normal call, normal save call. Here, let's go fast through it because we know how a normal save call works, right? You create a save game object here. This is just a reference, and then here you get the variable which you want save, and you can see in this save game object, I'm going to save the variable here. The save game object, by the way, let me show you this one as well, is our, where is it? When I find it anywhere, where is my save game object? I don't know where I put it in. Where I put my save game object? Okay, I have no clue. Let's write here save game object. Here at the save game sits. Yeah. Why I have no save game object? I don't know where it is. I will find it later, but that's not very important. Let's continue. Anyway, there it creates a save game object. You can see. Wait, when I can click it here. Here's this actor component. Save game object. Oh, I really made this with the actor component. I thought I made it not with the actor component. Actually, I used the actor component. Save game object. Okay. Whatever. Anyway, we continue. Here we get this one here. Let's open. I should open up and show you this. The save game object here is just where I save the variables. You can see I need the score value. I need this checkbox, which you just saw. This is this checkbox. I will save now here. And then we continue. Just I save it. And then this one has to be saved to the slot. This is this new created A1 slot, which I just deleted at the start. Now it's new created. And then we can continue. That's it. That's it. After this one, after you read this one, I say start game. You can see this is the part where we are. You can also see that I have not updated actually my score because I have need to disconnect too. But I make this offline. Oops, not this one. Let's press here F8 because I'm in game. And what I want to do now is not F8. Let's go in again. Let's press ESC. I can quit game. And now, this checkbox which you saw right now, it should be saved, and that was my problem. Anyhow, all time I started again, it was not saved. I don't know what was wrong, but now it works. And now it should not pop up again because don't show this pre-story all time again because only I want to restart the game, right? Here oops, sorry. Let's go here again out. Let's go here this way. Compile save again. Start this one. And now when I press now new game, this one should come because this one should be also changed later. This is the instruction. I want that this comes all time, doesn't matter. Well, because you can all time click got it here to see, to update your knowledge how to use the game. And now you can see the pre-story is not coming. So this is the way what I wanted to show you here, that you can skip all time telling the pre-story and skipping later things which is not very important.
Let's see if I find this.
That's it for this video. And this is also the way how to use an actor component. And like I said, actor components is just optional, but it's very nice if you want to use it in other projects instead of writing the code there from scratch or copying in it. But if you have just a place, so in my case, I use the actor component more like you can see more like a nice component where you can copy it, because like I said before, you don't have to use it, just copy this function, use it, or just import the actor component and modify it and use it as an actor component. That's nice to know. So with that said, I stop here this video and we will continue in our next video with some other parts with the gameplay, because I want to finish it soon. All right, if you have any questions like old time, write it in the comments. See you in the next, and like old time, have fun, never give up, and bye.